Am I the butthole for moving in with my grandparents? My 16 male parents got divorced last year. It was hard enough, but they both found new partners within 6 months with kids of their own. I have 50-50 schedule and it absolutely sucks. I feel like I don't fit in either house. My step-siblings and awful on both sides. They are entitled brats who use the excuse of it's my house to get whatever they want and neither of my parents care. I feel like an afterthought to both of them because they have new families. It sucks. I'm tired of packing my crap every damn week. I was talking to my grandparents on my phone and they offered to let me live with them. They live in the same city as I do. This was 2 weeks ago and I moved in. Both my parents were pissed but they haven't done anything. All my extended family is saying I'm awful for leaving but I'm much happier. I'm starting to feel bad though so I'm posting here. Sorry if this seems like a rant. Not the butthole. You need adults in your life who are willing to prioritize you. I'm only sorry that your parents couldn't be those adults. Glad you have your grandparents though. To add on to this, the extended family is angry at you because your appropriate actions are exposing that your parents weren't taking care of you. People get angry when they get caught doing a bad thing. That doesn't mean what you did is wrong. You deserve a stable environment with adults that care about you. NTA. I echo this. Be careful, might tell you that you echoed this in the wrong place laughing my butt off, smiley face. Web link. The way you wrote this makes me think you meant to reply to the replier, the one who replied to the rant. To do this, type your message after clicking reply located right beneath the text. They will even get a notification. No need to thank me, just happy to help, smirking face. I am replying to a reply. Am I doing the Reddit okay? Totally agree, not the butthole original poster. It's sad to hear that your step or half siblings make you feel that neither home is yours. If living with your grandparents makes it feel more stable for you, then your parents ought to respect that you are 16 and have a right to decide yourself. If I was one of your parents, I'd be talking to you about what works best for you and if there is anything that can be changed so that you feel okay living with me or your other parent. I wouldn't be happy with my other DC/stepchildren making you feel unwelcome. Sounds like they are not listening to Op's feelings. So, I'm happy they are happy living with their grandparents. At least someone was listening. Not the butthole. I'm with LLT on this one. You're definitely not the butthole Op. TBH, that guilt feeling that you're saying is caused due to you missing your previous home with your parents. And now that you're in a place that you feel happy, and feeling loved and accepted, you almost feel guilty for having that happiness. It's all new, it's an adjustment, and you deserve to be happy, mate. Your parents are going to paint you as the villain because everyone is finding out what kind of people they are. First it was their divorce, and now, their first child refuses to live with them. It's an attack on their dignity for the second time. Only this time, they can blame someone else. So, it has to be your fault, it can't be theirs type of mindset. Disregard it all. Live your life with people that will support you with lots of love. Live your life. Your parents sure are living theirs but seems to forget about their children throughout all the chaos. Good luck, mate, at least you're doing something positive to turn your life around. I'd like to expand on the topic of guilt. Thanks to an unhelpful parent, I used to misidentify a lot of feelings as guilt. Some feelings I had to learn to pick apart from guilt, shame, embarrassment, anxiety, fear, disliking how a person treated me. Feelings aren't wrong, but mislabeling them can cause you to feel really bad about yourself when you've done nothing wrong. Feelings of guilt are meant for when you cause harm to someone else. Nobody has been harmed in this situation by your actions. I would like to upvote this comment 1,000 times. I would stretch the need for stable environment even further, saying that in general those arrangements where a child has to move house every second week are crazy stressful and are done for the sake of parents' pride and not to benefit the child. Even in those cases where both houses are okay on their own. Exactly. I was just about to comment about stability. When you have no, or feel like you have no, stability, it starts to affect your mental health even more. I'm glad your grandparents offered you a place to stay where you feel welcome and stable now. Take care of yourself and be good to your G-parents. Don't feel bad. Edit, a word. I would so open up my home to my grandsons if this happened to them. They are probably overjoyed for your company and companionship. I would be. I lived on a small flat on my grandparents' property. Every day in the afternoon, I'd sit with my nan, read some of her trashy magazines with her, brew her tea, and ask her how her day went. She loved it. My cousins only did that when they needed money. It costs $0 to spend time with grandparents and make them happy like that. Good on you, but it's really unfortunate that your cousins acted that way. I really wish I could spend time with my grandparents. I really agree with you about spending time with your grandparents. When your grandparents are gone, you wish you had done more things with them. My grandma was a great baker, and I now wish I had her show me how to bake bread, nut rolls, etc. My kids only have one grandparent left, and I tell them to ask questions about his life and to do as much as they can with him. He's 86 and I'm just hearing for the first time some of his stories, like the time he tried to put a harness on a squirrel as a child, or the time he saw a UFO, or how he saved a bird on his walk to work during the 1978 blizzard, or how when he was in the service in Puerto Rico a tarantula crawled in his tent with him. Please video record him telling these stories. I did, and we played them at my grandpa's funeral. Ask him lots of questions. What was his wedding day like? How did he propose to grandma? How did he travel to school? What did he normally do on a snow day home from school? What were his favorite games in his backyard? Favorite toys? Favorite memories of his parents and grandparents? It is the biggest regret of my life that I didn't sit down with my grandparents and record their stories, or even just turned on the recorder when we were visiting. My paternal grandparents emigrated from Sicily as children and have stories of growing up in what is now California's Silicon Valley back when it was all agricultural. My maternal grandparents have been in America since the 1700s and fought in the Revolutionary War, unfortunately, on the wrong side, lol, and the extended family still has an estate in England. We've always joked that it's a true American story, that only here could the daughter of British semi-aristocracy marry the son of Sicilian peasants. Same, I wish I could have spent more time with my grandma. Whenever I wasn't working on the weekend, I'd get up at 4 a.m. Saturday, get 3 trains to a country town and then walk 1.5 hours to spend as much of the weekend with my nan. I'd do the opposite to get home in time for university. I miss Nana. The visits kept her going. That, and I got our prime minister at the time, well, his staffers, but he signed it, to write to her. She was very pro-environment, native title rights, social assistance, social medical care, etc. She was a force to be reckoned with. I bet Op's grandparents love having him there. Op, NTA. I'm so glad you had those times with your nan. I was so lucky to grow up with so many grandparents still alive that wanted to be involved in my life. My last grandparent died 4 years ago at the age of 90, and even though I was 45 years old, it just about broke me. I used to read through my grandma's grocery store trash mags that she bought for the crossword puzzles when she lived with us. They were so bad they were good. Man, I miss her. My great-grandma used to read the scandal sheets, as she called them. Trash magazines from the grocery checkout. Even now, I'll read some of the famous people divorce shocker headlines and chuckle at great-grandma in her housecoat reading those things and chuckling because they were so stupid they were funny. She also taught us some neat craft stuff when we were kids that I've thought about picking back up. I read trash mags with my grandma as well. She had a huge stack of them. Oh my goodness, I forgot this. I used to read Reader's Digests at my mom's and used to try to do German crossword puzzles with my Oma. They suck, but what you did was probably the greatest highlight of her day, and she no doubt loved you for enjoying her as much as she enjoyed you. NTA. I'm glad you're posting as a grandparent. I was a child in a difficult situation and my grandmother took me in. It's okay to feel all the feelings. Please just make sure when you take in information it's from people with your best interests at heart. Not someone that has no idea what you need, and won't step in to help if you need them. This. Cherish every moment, Op. Because they are. I moved out of my parents' house to live with my aunt and uncle when I was 17, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'm so glad Original Poster has a safe place to go. NTA. I also wonder if 50-50 custody is in the best interest of the child. You have to have a life in both houses, and it seems to me at least you don't really have a home when you're constantly moving in between 2 different situations. I'm so sorry to hear that both your parents can't be bothered to actually care for you and are selfish as hell trying to please their new partner. Once you have kids, you should be a parent first. They didn't get the memo, it seems. Glad to hear your grandparents are being so helpful. Best of luck, Op. I've questioned that too. But I feel like if 50-50 has a chance of working, they need a stable place and their belongings at both houses. What is with making kids pack every week to go to their other parents' house? They should have everything they need at both houses and only take the minimum, personal items between. Like phone, laptop, things that would be inconvenient to have two of. They should have all clothes, hygiene products and all that at both of their homes. If the parents want them to see their house as a home, that is. Op did the right thing. Letting the step-siblings get away with everything just makes it easier to see they are better off with grandparents. I meant more like being split between two places. This is especially bad when parents live far apart. If they live close together, you're basically in the same neighborhood with the same friends. But when parents live further apart, you need to make two lives work, two separate lives. One with friends on one side and the other. Living essentially a double life, just not a secret one. This, I think, isn't healthy for a developing mind. Yes, that part of it sucks as well. I agree complexly. It just stuck out to me that original poster had to pack every week. You shouldn't have to pack to go to your home, even if there's two homes. The social aspect would have to be so hard. Like if they have a best friend close to mom's house but have a crisis while at dad's. Like you said, if they don't live close, they aren't around the same people and might not be able to get support from that friend. It's a no-win situation for children of divorce. If both parents want the kid, the arrangements suck. If one parent has majority time because the other doesn't want to be around much, it sucks for the kid too. I just hope my husband and I never have to face anything like this. I see people have kids with people they just met and can't understand it. Too many relationships don't work. People need to build a solid relationship with a spouse before bringing kids into it. Not necessarily Op's situation. Just something I think about when divorce and custody comes up. You're right, original poster shouldn't have to pack each time. That said, it's telling the courts don't really seem to be acting in the child's best interest anymore. Weekends at the other parent's house and some holidays leaves them with the home while having sleepovers and holidays with the other parent. This to me at least seems better for a child whose parents live further apart. Divorce, of course, is not ideal. But as I posted above, me and my daughter's father have been divorced her whole life. He cheated and left for the other woman. They are still together. Despite the utter pain I felt with the situation, I made sure to give my kid the best life. She is loved by me, her father and stepmother. She never packs to see any of us. I have majority custody. Yes, he didn't want any more than what he has, but I somehow managed to show my daughter it isn't because of her. We make sure she has the least possible disruption. We live 20 minutes apart, but are accommodating to her social life, make sure she gets to where she needs to go and doesn't have to dump her social life to go to their dad's. Her father, and stepmother have a good relationship. I have forgiven them for her, and my daughter often says, "I'm so happy all of you get along." Most divorced parents don't. My ex will help me fix some things around the house. I'm a nurse and am always there for his family with any illnesses, and I repay favors and homemade food. It's how the parents choose to make the situation for the kids after divorce. The feelings I had to shove away and let go to make this happen was hands down the hardest thing I've ever done. And I don't regret a thing. Not the butthole. I feel like an afterthought to both of them. If that's not a reason to not live with them, I don't know what is. Exactly. The parents moved on with partners and stepchildren that they chose. Original poster didn't choose the new partners or step-siblings. Both of your parents are selfish for putting their desires ahead of what is good for you, their child. Sure, they deserve to find happiness with new partners. But never at the expense of their own child. Exactly. Also sounds like they are prioritizing the new kids to their own to please their new partners, which is understandable/expected in a ways, though it shouldn't be like that, and I think original poster should try forgive them for that even if it's not okay, and immature. I know might be tricky but wanted to put it out there, but I think it's 100% right for original poster to move in with the grandparents if it makes him more comfortable, happier and secure. I don't agree he should tolerate being last when the divorce was not his fault, and excuse the parents' self-centered and mean behavior. Kids suffer enough by being put in the middle of adult decisions. Yes, The parents have a right to find happiness, but never at the cost of making their child feel less than. He feels bad enough to leave both their homes. That's heartbreaking. Perhaps it will smack some sense into his parents. Op, I'm sure your grandparents are so happy you are with them. Op can only truly forgive them once they realized how they hurt him and what they did was selfish, and then apologize and change. They're not even on step 1, realizing. Instead, they are mad at him for trying to find stability. Never should you accept someone crafting on you, especially not if that's your parents. No. Absolutely not. As a parent and a step-parent, my kids get equal treatment, and had my partner engaged in any displays of favoritism or trying to prioritize, or vice versa, we would not be partners anymore. That's such a giant red flag in a relationship, it should make skin crawl. And they've proved that by both. My parents were pissed, but they haven't done anything. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.